All right, what's up, Mob Crew? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. I cover murder, mystery to the missing. Today we're going to be talking about the strange bodies that have been showing up. There's 6 women that were found within, I think, like 3 months of each other. It's pretty odd. This is happening around in the Portland, Oregon area. So, and there's talks of a possible serial killer. So we'll cover that in today's live show. But before we get started, we always like to give back by featuring the missing. Today is a special request. We have Amir Ellis. He is black, 5'4", 110 pounds, 20 years old. He went missing on May 15th of this year. There is a $2,500 reward. Now, sadly, this has a tragic ending that we believe anyway, just because there has been some arrest made in connection to this case. So he went missing out of Hot Springs, Arkansas. And apparently they say that there are 3 suspects that were arrested in alleged kidnapping of Amir Ellis. There's not a lot right now, but they do have 3 people that could be responsible for kidnapping and maybe foul play. Like I said, they have not found Amir. Hopefully, maybe it could have a good outcome and he's just held up somewhere. But for right now, they have 3 suspects. And Amir is still missing. So prayers for the family, and hopefully they do find him. So the sound is really low. Oh, of course, the one time I don't ask how the sound is. Okay, how is the sound now, guys? Let me know in the chat real quick. Sorry, I'm going to get a mic that comes down, which is going to be a lot better for me. Because where it sits, it's just a little bit further away than my previous setup. So just put a 1 in the chat if the sound is much better. And good to see everybody. Good to see Elizabeth, Jilly Bean, Miranda. Good to see my mods, Molly, Karen, Dee. Good to see you guys. We've got Susan in here, sweet dreams, Jocelyn, sweet dreams. Thank you to all that take the time out of your day to watch the show. Just let me know if you guys hear me much better, and then we'll get going here. Okay, sound is better. Okay, good deal. All right, so just to recap, Amir Ellis, I believe 20 years old. He went missing out of Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's believed to be foul play suspected. There is a reward for $2,500. And they do have 3 suspects that have been arrested in connection to this. Okay, so moving on. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and play a clip. Let me see the poll right now. So I asked you guys if you guys have know about this case. Looks like most of you have, some of you haven't, and some don't think it's related. And we'll talk about which ones. I think some could be related. They all could be related, but it's interesting that they kind of announced all these bodies kind of all together, which is kind of interesting. But we'll go ahead and play a news clip, and then we'll start kind of talking about each individual victim, and then we'll kind of talk about the connections and stuff like that.
Human remains discovered in rural Clackamas County.
Okay, let me make sure. Let me know how the volume is on this. If anything, it might be a little too loud.
County have been identified as a Portland woman who vanished in late March. Ashley Reel is one of 5 women to disappear and then turn up dead, all in the last 6 months. Let's bring in our Mike Benner, who's been looking into this for us. And Mike, do detectives believe any of these cases are connected?
You know, actually, we've heard from two of the law enforcement agencies handling these cases, and basically, they're not ruling anything out at this point. They're talking with partner agencies on the off chance these cases are somehow connected. And this comes as a relief to the family of one of the 5 victims.
These woods off Southeast Judd Road in rural Clackamas County is where deputies discovered the remains of Ashley Reel. The 22-year-old was last seen in late March at a fast food restaurant and transit center in East Portland. These photos of Reel are some of the last before she turned up dead in that heavily wooded area.
It's just so heartbreaking, and it's really hard to, I don't know, put into words, I guess, just how heartbreaking it is. You know, no matter the circumstances, that's somebody's baby.
Robin Speaks did not know Reel, but she's following her case closely. Because like Reel, Robin's sister, Joanna Speaks, vanished in late March and turned up dead in early April in a rural area of Clark County.
We've gotten through the celebration of life, and we were able to, come together for that, which was really awesome. But now it's kind of like hitting us more that it's real, and now we keep seeing on the news all these new girls.
All these new girls, 5 in total. We've told you about Speaks and Reel, but then there's Bridget Webster.
Okay, sorry, I just got to talk over this so I'm not stealing the content, but of course now there will be 6 bodies. Actually, 2 of the bodies were found on the same day, which we'll talk about. But right now they say 5 bodies. I think this was kind of early on. I think I've got 3 or 4 news clips. They're all each like 2 to 4 minutes long, just kind of talking about the case itself. So I think this is an earlier one. So right now they're talking about 5 bodies, but right now there's considered 6 bodies that could possibly be connected. We don't know, but there are some very interesting similarities, and we'll talk about those here in a bit.
Whose body was found in late April in northwest Polk County. About that same time, authorities discovered the body of Charity Perry in Ainsworth State Park. Perry had been missing since early March. And then there's Kristen Smith, who vanished in December of last year. The 22-year-old's body was found 2 months later at Southeast Deerdorf Road and Flavel in Portland.
With each one, we've, as a family, we've talked about it, we've shared it, we've looked at the details, we've talked to the detectives to see if there are any similarities.
We, too, reached out to detectives with all of the agencies investigating these disappearances and deaths. The Polk and Clackamas County Sheriff's offices got back to us, and they're both talking to partner agencies to see if their respective cases are at all connected to any others.
The police are addressing rumors circulating online.
Okay. So that was the first clip. So let's just kind of take a look at the area and each individual here. So let me pull this up so you guys can see it here. I've got a better one here, but we'll start with this one. So these are the 6 women, and going in order of which the bodies were found, and they were all this year. And like I said, from February 19th was the first body found with this little cluster, and May 7th of this month, actually last month, Ashley Reel. So yeah, basically February, March, April, so 3 to 4 months, all these bodies were found. So in such a short period of time. But we have Kirsten Smith found on February 19th, and we'll look into each individual case. And then it goes, so then we have Joanna Speaks, which is April 8th. And then we skip towards the end, closer to the end of April. And then this is where they actually found 2 girls on the same day. One of them is an unidentified woman believed to be Native American or Alaskan descent. And then on the same day, on April 24th, we have Charity Lynn Perry. And then the last 2, we have Bridget Webster, found on April 30th. And then we have Ashley Reel, which is our latest one, on May 7th. So kind of scary with that cluster. And they're all within approximately 100 miles. And let's see, which way should we go here? Let's look at each individual case here and then kind of talk about what they know, because a lot of these cases, there's not a lot of details with them. Now, do keep in mind, I just barely started researching this case today, so there may be some of you in here that may know more than me, and if you do, please correct me if I get anything wrong. But this is a very fascinating case, and I did point out some similarities, which we'll get into here in a bit. So here we've got Kristen Smith. She is 22 years old. She was 5'2", 100 pounds, brown hair. She was missing for about 2 months. She went missing on December 22nd of last year. She would be one of the first found on February 19th. Now, this one, she was found in a wooded area, and her death right now is ruled at the time as an accidental death, is how they worded it. So at the time, it's an accidental death, but it's kind of weird because there's a few that are found in the woods, and she's one of them. And for someone to be found in the woods and it's an accidental death, unless she told her family she was going like hiking or something, I do find that kind of suspicious. Let me know what you think in the comments, but that's what they have right now. Then we have Joanna Speaks, who was 32 years old. She had dark hair, brown eyes. I can't find when she went missing, but she was found on April 8th. This is one of the unique ones where we actually kind of know some more details. She was found in a barn in Ridgeville, Washington, which is, kind of on the outskirts of the cluster, but within, 100 miles of all the others. But her death has been ruled as a homicide, and she had blunt force trauma to her head and her neck. So that's one of the few cases that we actually know something about the victim as far as how they found him. Then moving on, we have Ashley Reel, which this is crazy. I'm not 100% sure. I've got to go back and look at my old Facebook profile, which I haven't looked at for many, many years. But I was friends with an Ashley Reel, not like close friend. It just, how Facebook is. Sometimes you just end up being friends with acquaintances and stuff like that. And I was friends with an Ashley Reel from Portland, so it's kind of weird to see her. And she did look like this girl here, so I may have been not really a friend, just a Facebook friend, which isn't really. I had nothing. I think I maybe communicated with her once, but it's kind of eerie that if that is the same girl. She had dark hair and brown eyes. She was a little bit shorter, 4'11", 85 pounds. She went missing on March 27th, and then she was found on May 7th. She would be the latest girl to be found. Her remains were found in a heavily wooded area. Her death is considered suspicious in nature, and that's all they say about that. Just shout some people out. Danger Dave, good to see you. Christina, good to see you. Honor Secrets. Carolyn, good to see you. Hey, Melissa. CJK. Any commonalities? Jobs, bars, clubs? Yeah, we'll look into that, CJK. Keep in mind, I just looked into this case like 4 or 5 hours ago, and I try to give it as much as I can. There is a lot of stuff that's still not just available to the public, or I've just got to dig a little bit deeper. So moving on to our next victim, we've got Bridget Leanne Webster. She was 31, brown hair. It looks like blue or hazel eyes. Not sure when she went missing, but she was found on April 30th. She was found along a road near Harmony Road in Mill Creek, Polk County. Hers as well. Her death is considered suspicious, but there's no cause of death released. Then we have Charity Perry, who is 24 years old, or was 24 years old. It looks like she has brown hair. It's tough to see. There's I couldn't find any other photos. There may be some out there. It looks like she has brown hair, brown eyes, darker colored eyes anyway. She did go missing in March. We don't know exactly what day she went missing, but she would be found on April 24th, which would be in connection with another body found. Her body was found in a culvert in the historic Columbia River Highway, and we'll look at kind of the map as well. And all it says in the notes is it says her death is considered suspicious, which kind of goes along the lines with most of them. And then we have our last one. So this is an unidentified Native American or Alaskan woman between the ages of 25 and 40. They say she had dark hair, dark eyes. They said she has 2 scars and 2 tattoos. She is 5'1" and approximately 135 pounds. So we do need to identify her. Apparently the 2 tattoos that she had is kind of like a music note here. And then we kind of got like this little Buddhist priestess thing here. So 2 tattoos that she had on her body. Don't know when she went missing. And she was found on April 24th. Her body was found, I believe, in a tent. And it says in the Lentz neighborhood of Portland. And her death is considered suspicious as well. So we have 4 out of the 6 girls with suspicious deaths. We have 1 that we know is an homicide. And then we have 1 that was found in a wooded area. But they're saying at this time there doesn't seem to be foul play. But it could just be early times. Okay. Justice. Let me see what the chat's saying here. Nadia says, I just heard about it today, but I have a feeling it is a serial killer. Could be. And it may not be, they may not all be involved. One thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure some of you guys know this, but whenever they have discovered a body that they don't know and they do a sketch, they're always kind of disturbing looking. There's always some kind of disturbing feature to them. And that is done on purpose to kind of plug it into your memory to help them, help identify this person. So for anybody that's wondering, if we get time, I'll pull up some unidentified bodies that have been converted into sketches, and they all have these kind of almost scary attribute to them, and I guess they do that on purpose, which I think is smart, but it's kind of wild. So bodies were found. So looking at the connections, so the bodies were found within 100 miles of each other. We have 3 in the Portland area. So as we can see here, we got Christian, the unidentified woman, and there was one more, or was it just those 2? Oh, and Ashley Real. Actually, it's supposed to be 2. Actually, I put that wrong. I think I saw this red dot. So 2 in the Portland area, 2 of them close to each other, which is Christian and the 2 girls. I think it's supposed to be the same thing. And then we have 2 that were found on the same day, which is Charity and the unidentified woman. Then as we get a little bit, something more interesting is it looks like, and it might actually be all 6 because, and I'll show you the picture of the other victim, but it seems like 5, if not 6 out of the women had brown to dark hair, which I think is interesting. And most of them as well have dark brown to dark eyes. I think all except for this girl here, which is Bridget. But just looking at that, let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. There are some similarities with the dark hair or darkish hair. And then we go with 4 out of the 6 women were found. Now, some say they were all found in rural areas, but I think 2 were found in more, 4 were found in rural areas, and then 2 were found in wooded areas, so much more secluded. And you got one that was found in a barn, and then another one that was found in the culvert. And okay, talked about that. Talked about 2 found on the
Human
same day.
remains discovered in rural Clackamas.
Okay, so let me pull up the next news clip, which talks a little bit more about the victims.
Human remains discovered in rural Clackamas County have been identified as a Portland woman who vanished in late March.
Found in Liberty Perry, March. Smith, southeast Deer. That same time, authorities discovered about county was felt and real. But then there's Bridget.
Okay, I'm going to skip this one forward. Okay, here we go. And I did discover something interesting on a possible connection between the 2 girls on where one went missing and where the other one was found. It was really close. So we'll take a look at the map time after this news clip.
Deaths altogether on Friday, and that led some to believe that they were connected. Tonight, police say, based on their evidence so far, they don't believe these deaths are related to each other. Fox 12's Jeffrey Lindblom tells us more.
Well, we're here near the location. 22-year-old Kristen Smith was found dead somewhere in this wooded area that you see here behind me after being labeled missing for months. She's one of the 6 women police say was found dead in the metro area over the last 4 months. Despite speculation online that their deaths are connected, police say the facts just don't support that claim right now. But regardless, family members of the victims do remain on edge.
There's so many answers that we don't have. It's been really alarming. I mean, to say the least, I guess. The possibilities of who and how and what are endless. It's just awful.
The sister of Robin Speaks and Ariel Hamby was found dead near an abandoned barn in Ridgefield. Joanna Speaks is one of 6 women found dead in the Portland metro area over the last 4 months. Despite online speculation, police don't believe the deaths are connected. But Speaks' sisters say they feel a bond with the other victims' families.
And there's definitely similarities between our sister's case and theirs, and it makes it personal to us whether it's related or not.
PPB is asking the public to be aware of the facts of the cases before spreading speculation they believe is leading to fear and anxiety in the community. Something Speaks' sisters say they do feel for their daughters and other women, knowing 6 unsolved cases in 4 months have occurred involving women.
It's terrifying. I haven't decided if I'm going to let my kids out of the house ever again or not. So.
Oh, and I feel absolutely terrible for the community. I mean, they've obviously local law enforcement are saying that right now it's not connected and not to jump to conclusions, but you still can't overlook that this is just within 3 months, all these bodies found within 100 miles of each other. And yes, many of them look very similar, dark hair, and I think most of them are shorter in stature. I wouldn't say short, but shorter in stature. And most of them are around 100 to, I think, 120 pounds. So there are a very lot of, and then of course the age range. I mean, we don't know the exact age of the unidentified woman, but they believe between, I think they said 20 and 40 or 25 and 40, something like that. So mid to late 20s and 30s. So all young women.
It is terrifying.
The two say they've been leaning on each other to get through this tough time and are now setting their sights on trying to help the other families involved, spreading the word and hoping someone may have helpful information.
Because somebody somewhere saw something. We're putting that energy into continuing the search for justice, hopefully for all of these girls. And no more.
Well, people in Portland, Oregon are on edge, wondering if a serial killer is on the loose there. 6 women have been found dead.
Okay, so this is the next news clip, but I want to pull up, and we'll come back to this, but we'll just look at them one more time. And yes, their hair, I'm sure I could get a better picture of her hair. But yeah, all of them have about the same hair length, except for Charity. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of all their names. Will that go away? And this photo of Charity, we don't know like how old it is. I think Charity and this unidentified Native American, maybe they could have been, maybe on the run on the streets. I mean, I'm not sure. That's just speculation. So maybe this photo of Charity may not be a recent photo. So yeah, with all the other ones, yes, that's a great point. With the kind of medium hair length, and then most of them dark hair, brown eyes. Yeah, kind of odd. Sean says, I could see 2 a coincidence, but not 6. And yeah, I think maybe there could be maybe 1 or 2 that could be unrelated. I mean, it's all speculation really at this point. But there are some crazy similarities. And like I said, I did discover one thing, because there's right now, there's not a lot of info. But I did discover a few things that we'll look at here in just a minute. But let me play this one more news clip here, and then we'll look at the map of kind of where they've disappeared or where they were found. And Carolyn, if you're watching from Unearthed Secrets, she asked me, how to kind of get around playing news clips without being copyrighted. If you speed up the clip a little bit, you should be in the clear. So you'll kind of notice that the news anchor or whatever is whoever's talking, they're talking slightly a little faster than normal. I have to do that too, so I don't get any copyright strikes.
Within a 100-mile area over the last 3 months. And the victims are all in their 20s and 30s. Their bodies found in rural, wooded areas. One of them has yet to be identified now. Our Alex Capriello tracking the investigation. Alex, what are you hearing from police on this?
Well, first on the ground in the greater Portland area, we're seeing a lot of fear and speculation as to who could be behind these 6 women's deaths. And Portland police right now really trying to stamp that out, that fear, that anxiety, and those rumors, saying at this point they see no sort of connection, no link between these 6 deaths. They released a very lengthy statement. We're going to read it to you in part, saying, quote, while any premature death is concerning and we will diligently investigate deaths that happen, the Portland Police Bureau has no reason to believe these 6 cases are connected. We ask that our community be aware of the facts about these cases before sharing speculation. The Portland Police Bureau is assuring our community that if we learn of any articulable danger, we will notify the public about it. Even still, 6 deaths in this area. Let's go through them. It begins in February and continuing through May, where these 6 women have been found dead within 100 miles of each other. The first one on February 19th, 22-year-old Kirsten Smith found dead on the border of Portland and Happy Valley. Her cause of death has not been publicly disclosed. Then on April 8th, the body of 32-year-old Joanna Speaks was found in rural Clark County. Her death, the only one that has been officially ruled a homicide at this point. A medical examiner said she showed signs of blunt force trauma to the head and to the neck. Now, 2 weeks later, April 24th, Charity Perry, she was found in a culvert near Ainsworth State Park. Her death labeled suspicious. The very same day, an unidentified woman was found dead in a tent. Police say there's no indication foul play should be suspected. Less than a week later, on April...
So that's weird, because the article I pulled up on this unidentified female, or I guess we could say Jane Doe, the article said that there was possible suspicious circumstances. So I guess maybe it depends on the news source you're looking at. And that, of course, happens.
April 30th, Bridget Webster, who's from Wisconsin, she was found dead in Polk County, but her death has been labeled suspicious. On May 7th, Ashley Real was found in Clackamas County. Police say her death is considered suspicious, but have not concluded it was murder. Missing persons detectives are also looking into this case. So when you really look at that map, you can see they are within a close area, but many of these deaths in rural, unincorporated county areas, which is why we're seeing a multi-agency effort here, Natasha, including several different county sheriff's departments. They're all working together, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, get more information to the public. But as for Portland police, they say that's their statement. They are not conducting any more interviews at this time until they have more to go on.
And I get it. We've seen this before, like even with, the Idaho students. They don't want to create a panic and say, yes, we've got a killer out on the loose. So I definitely, we've seen this before. Good to see you, Tony D from EquiSearch. I just got to give a huge shout out. As a lot of you may know, we went out and was searching for Dylan Rounds last year. Amazing group of people who go out and on their own time go and help search for the missing. An absolute wonderful program that they have out there. And what's crazy, I haven't seen you for a while, Tony. I was actually in Texas working on a 40-year-old cold case. And I wanted to reach out to you because we kind of needed some cadaver dogs, but we're probably going to go back out there. So sorry for getting sidetracked, but when I see Tony, I just have to give him a huge shout out because what he does is amazing and very inspiring, and just amazing guy. So let's see where I was going to go with this one. Okay, so let's look at each of them real quick, and then I'm going to show you, because like I said, one of the things that I'm still trying to find is where they went missing, because not a lot of them have it, or maybe I've just got to look a little bit harder because, like I said, I've just started this case, so there's it's something I'm going to be looking into after the show. But as we can kind of see here that we've got the 6 women here, all pretty close. Now that according to sources, they say, a lot of these are in rural areas, with 3 of them being in a wooded area. And let's look at the map. Now, this is what's interesting. So where is Ashley? Is it Ashley Real? It is. Okay, so it's her. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Give me just 1 second, guys, here. If I can find it. There it is. Perfect. So this is one of the few that we know kind of when she went missing, which was on March 27th. And she was found on May 7th. So April, a little less than 2 months. But what's interesting is, so she was last seen. So here's sadly the last few photos of Ashley seen alive. She was at she was last seen in a food restaurant, and then they believe she was close to the Transit Center Max Station, which is on 9900 Northeast Multnomah Street. Hope I didn't butcher that. And this is what's interesting. So if we pull that up here, So let's just take a look. This is kind of where she was last seen, which I'm hoping, since this is the last place that she was seen, and here you've got the station here, that there are cameras. We know, places like Home Depot, Kohl's, but if she was just walking down one of these roads, it just so happens we got a camera right here. So hopefully, they're just, with 6 bodies, obviously that's 6 families, and they're got a lot of investigation to do with each case. But there could be some potential for some camera footage to be secured to maybe get an answer. Maybe there's something where she's walking along the street and gets snatched up or something like that. But what's interesting as we back out is this is not too far. So here's where she was last seen, and this is Ashley Real. Just 30 minutes down the road, which really there's only kind of one major highway here, or interstate. And this area right here, let's see, I wonder if they have, Google's been here. Oh, they have. I'm not sure the exact area, but this is where they found Charity. So I thought that was kind of interesting that, oops, I'm going to turn this down, that 2 girls close to where one went missing, not too far, they found a body of another. So is this person familiar with this particular highway? And Ashley Real, so she went missing. Oh, let me back it out here. So she went missing here, and let's see which one's a good one. No, that's a bad one. Let's see if it'll give me the address of where she was found. Okay, this is before she was found, so let me find out where she was actually found. Sasha Real body found. Clackamas County. Okay. Enter that in. Punch that in. So that is the approximate location, and as we can see, that is a pretty. Let's see, we can't see what it looks like. Let's look at the layers here. Oh yeah, that's definitely heavily wooded area. Is that right? Yep, that is right. So we got Portland. Maybe not as deep into the woods from what it shows, but that could be a little bit. So it could have been a little bit closer, but I do know it says Clackamas County. But yeah, that's where her body would end up here. But kind of interesting that with one missing, not too far from where the other one was found. And then let's look at the 2 girls that were found on the same day and where they were found. Pull this up here. So the two girls, so the Charity, the one that I was talking about that's kind of connected, could possibly connected be with Ashley. She's found on April 24th, along with the unidentified Alaskan women. Which, that case, I would think out of the 6 girls, maybe her case could be unrelated. She was found in a tent. But like I said, there was an article that says her death was kind of suspicious. But then the latest news article kind of says different, so it's kind of hard to tell. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat here, because been a minute here. Sean and Chris, I met Mr. Steve last Wednesday at Dunkin' Donuts in State College, Pennsylvania. Oh, that's right, yeah, because he went out there, had some business out there. That's so awesome. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. Oh, that's so cool you got to meet Steve. And Tony D says, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. Yeah, I was just out looking for Aiden Clune, using my drone skills that I learned from you, Tony. So I appreciate your support, buddy. Michelle says, many possible serial killers lately this year. What's going on? Austin, Portland, Chicago. Right. Aussie Girl, just catching up on the case. They all went missing and were discovered over the last 6 months. Less than 6 months. Really 3.5 months if you want to get technical. So pretty close. And all within 100 miles of each other. Oh, good. It's tough for us YouTubers, you know. We come across a lot of new words, towns and stuff. Here in Utah, we have Tooele, and let me just show you how it's spelled. So this is, let's see. Let me pull up my thing here. Oh, can you guys see that? Unless I blow that up. So this is how Tooele is spelled here. I click this up. So here it is. And we've heard everything. Usually the biggest one is Thule. That's probably the most popular way it's pronounced by people that don't know its actual pronunciation is Thule, but it's actually Tooele. But the guys from Ghost Adventures, there's a rundown mental health hospital that's supposed to be haunted, and he came out there and he tried to pronounce it, and I wish I could remember right now how he said it, but I was laughing so hard because I had never heard anybody, like I said, Thule's usually the biggest one, not to get sidetracked, but just add a little levity to the situation. But he absolutely butchered it, and it was just so funny. Let me get back on track, but let's see here. Perry UK says, any missing young females in that area? So more missing on top of that. I don't know. And honestly, with 6 in 3 months, there could be more. But let's just take a look at the 6 girls here. And I mean, they all, now keep in mind, there's a couple of pictures where they look kind of different. Especially her. I've seen a picture where she's actually kind of has dark hair. I mean, obviously anybody could color their hair at any time, but a lot of them, dark hair, mostly dark eyes, and I think 5 out of the 6 are fairly short and around 100 pounds. So, which would be easier for a suspect to snatch up someone who's not expecting it. So I'm going to play one of the last clips here. I've got one more news clip. This is the latest one.
All right, Alex Capriello with that live update for us. Thank you so much. We have a lot more news to come. We'll be right back.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
To help us sort of break down a lot of this, I want to bring in News Nation law and justice contributor and former special agent with the FBI, Jennifer Coffindoffer. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So investigators here have said that there are similarities in these cases, but they haven't gone as far as saying they're connected or that this could be the work of a serial killer. What do you think's going on here?
Oh, interesting.
Well, first of all, I am called to something serious, and that is the fact that they have 5 agencies working on this. So they are truly giving it the attention that they should. This is serious. There's 6 of them. What we don't know, again, is the modus operandi the same. In other words, is it blunt force trauma for all of them? Is there sexual assault involved? They need to be getting, if there was sexual assault or other DNA that was collected, they need to be getting that to a lab post-haste to determine if they're connected through DNA.
Yeah, how much do you think investigators are looking at this map here and looking at the location of where these women were found?
Okay.
I think it's important, but we're talking about a 100-mile radius, so it's pretty far apart between these killings, but still in this metroplex and in this area. I would be looking at what do these women have in common? Is there anything? Were they in the same profession? Were they possibly working, living in the same area? We know where their bodies were found, but what connection do they have? So that's going to be very important for investigators as well.
What do you think, if you can, what do you think is the motivation behind these murders, or where do you think police go after they look at those locations?
Well, the first thing they need to look at individually with each person is to start with their inner circle and work out. In other words, does anyone they know have a motive or have a reason to unfortunately harm and kill these women? Or is this truly random? So police will be starting just looking at the individuals and then expanding out from there. And again, the MO at this point and then that DNA, if it can be collected, is crucial.
I want to ask you as well, in your experience, we're sitting here saying that this is a chilling mystery. Seeing these numbers, seeing the map of their locations, how would you describe this?
Well, there's so much we don't know because it's being investigated by 5 agencies, so they're working hard on this case. It's hard for us in the public because we can't see the facts that they see. So I would say they are giving it the due diligence it needs, and they are making sure these aren't related. If they are related, law enforcement needs to come forth and give individuals in the Portland area notification that indeed they are dealing with a serial killer.
Absolutely, yeah. Potentially scary story here. Jennifer Coffindoffer, thank you so much for your time.
Sorry, she just shows up everywhere, and yeah, I think a lot of people feel like Coffindoffer is just trying to get as much attention as she can. And anyway, enough about that. But anyway, just to kind of recap here, so let's just kind of look at their their bio here, and I'm gonna do more on this case. And what I'm interested is trying to find, because I was looking before the show, looking for their missing posters, and I could only find I think 2 of them, and there wasn't a lot of information, which is because I want to see I want to look at all of them, at least that we know that we can look at as far as where they went missing, just kind of like with the Ashley Riel and how that one body was found not too far from where Ashley Riel went missing. I want to know if there's more connections like that where, say, one of these ladies went missing, and then it just so happens there's, a body that's found shortly close to that area. But one more time, we have Christian Smith, 22, 5'2", 100 pounds, brown hair. And I think somebody said in chat she actually dyes her hair and wears wigs. So she could have been wearing, and I've seen a picture with her with darker hair. That's why I was a little confused on that. So she could have had dark hair at the time. But she went missing. And most of these, they're missing for about 2 months. She was found in a wooded area. This one is ruled as... This one's weird because it's ruled as an accidental death at this time, which is just so odd. I would understand if she went hiking or something, told family and friends, she's off to do a run or something. But unless she frequented that area... is it an accidental death? Unless there's just something we don't know. But I do find that strange. One of the earlier ones is Joanna Speaks, and one of the only ones that we know of actually what happened to her. Body found in a barn. Death being ruled as homicide. Blunt force trauma to head and neck. So obviously they're going to probably look and see if did these other victims have blunt force trauma to them as well. And then we have Ashley Reel, 22 years old, dark hair, brown eyes, 4'11", just 85 pounds. Same thing, just missing for less than 2 months. Remains found in a heavily wooded area, but this one, her death is considered suspicious in nature. Then we have Bridget Webster, 31, brown hair, blue or hazel eyes. Not sure when she went missing. This is one I'm going to research more. Found on April 30th, and she was found along a road near the Harmony Road in Mill Creek, Polk County. Her death is considered suspicious. Then we have Charity Perry, which I think one of 2 out of the girls that may have been, I don't know, maybe possibly homeless, living under the radar type thing. She went missing in March. We just don't know when exactly. But same thing, less than 2 months. April 24th, she's found in a culvert. And that's close to like a highway area here. And same thing, death is considered suspicious. And then we have another woman found on the same day. We don't know much about her, but she had dark hair, dark eyes, 2 scars, 2 tattoos, 5'1", 130 pounds, between the age range of 25 and 40. Her body was found in a tent, but is considered suspicious. So, pretty wild case. Let me get caught up here. Latest Grace, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You are so awesome. I really appreciate the help with the donations. Right now, YouTube is, I have my ups and downs with YouTube, and right now I'm at a very low point with YouTube, and I gotta try to get back up there. So donations really help right now. So I really appreciate you guys and just taking the time to watch the show. Tea Time says there's barely any police in Portland. It sounds like they said they have, 5 different agencies on the case? Yeah, and and you're gonna find that in major cities. You're gonna have those homeless camps and stuff. What does high risk mean? I could take a crack at it. High risk behavior, I don't know. Was that said in one of the interviews? I don't think it was, but if it was, high risk, they say, is like, I guess I can say this word, prostitute is what they would consider a high risk behavior. So that's the example of high risk. Yes, copper horse would be interesting to get the full autopsy, and I'm sure those are being done, and in due time we will find out. Kirsten's mom also mentioned trafficking going around in Portland. Feared maybe that happened to Kirsten. Oh, I hope not. That's so terrible. Just looking at chat. All right, the dark hair or the indigenous. I mean, the only one, I mean, is the Indian, or, the African American, the Native American woman. I don't know all of these girls, but like I said, after this live show, I'm going to, like I said, I just started covering this case, so we're going to definitely do another deep dive on it, and hopefully there'll be some more information out there as well. I do notice that there's quite a few that have nose rings. I think I've seen 3 out of the 6 have nose rings. We've got Ashley. This is Bridget, I think. I think there's 3 out of the 6 that have nose piercings. Elizabeth, we appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You are so sweet. And speaking of sweet dreams, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so awesome. You guys are so amazing. Lizzie Jones, thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. You are so sweet. How awful. Are all the victims unidentified? No, just the one, Gene. We just have one identified, which I'm just going to go on a limb and say maybe she was possibly homeless, but that's just speculation. Wanda Brown, thank you so much for the super sticker. You guys are going to make me cry here. You guys are so awesome. Lone Pony, thank you, Chris, for the thank you so much for the $4.99. You are so sweet, Lone Pony. Get caught up here, and we'll kind of talk about what's going to be going on in the future. So I'm going to do a part 2 of this because one of the things that happened, let me take a sip here. So one of the things that, because obviously, I think most of you guys know, if you're a little bit newer to the channel, I always like to have a visual presentation, and that takes a lot of work to put all these visuals together and stuff. But I kind of got delayed because I had gotten an email regarding Amy Clune. There was some items found in a desert in I believe in the West Desert. They found a guitar and backpack and some other belongings. Anyway, I freaked out and I had to call Amy because I didn't really know, was this Aiden stuff? Because that was kind of addressed to me, thinking, hey, we found this stuff recently. Does this belong to Aiden? And so I had to call Amy up, and this was kind of like an hour before the show, so I kind of got behind on putting my full presentation together. But unfortunately, it was not the items that belonged to Aiden, but they did find out who it belonged to, And so there was closure on that. So there is somebody out there, I don't remember the name, that was missing in Utah, and they did find their items, and I think they did find his remains. So I'm happy for that. So let's see here. Yeah, Native Americans, they definitely have, a bad thing going on with their, that ordeal. They're kind of one of the most high statistics for trafficking and everything else. And it's just such a shame because they have such delayed reactions, because they have the local law enforcement, but then they have their own government that's supposed to police them, but apparently they have like jurisdiction issues, and they get delayed trying to debate on whose case it's supposed to be. And these poor young girls, these Native American girls, go missing, and by the time they start investigating, it's too late. And so yeah, it's a problem. Thank you, Gene P, for the $2 super sticker. You are so awesome. Thank you. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much. Same to you. So we will do a part 2 probably coming up. I will look into, a lot of people mentioned early on the bunch of missing going out of Columbia, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio. I guess I should have just done this. Girls missing out of, is it Columbus, Ohio? That's interesting. So we got a couple that say they were found safe. Search for boy. Is it Columbus, Ohio, or a different Ohio? Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, okay. Different area. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, Cleveland sees big uptick in numbers of missing children. Police say 34 children were reported missing in May. Now, Cleveland is a big area. 91% are runaways. 1 in 6 are trafficked. So it says an alarming number of children have disappeared in Cleveland, with more than 30 reported missing over a 2-week span at the start of May. And we just hit June, obviously. Just 2 days ago, another teenage girl was reported missing. Wow. Is there an age range that these girls are missing? 34 missing children. We'll play this.
It's the French Open quarterfinal. Live on Tennis Channel. Watch top stars battle in Paris and fight their way to the Final Four.
Joining us now for more on this is Bill Bolden, a senior inspector with the U.S. Marshals Service, and Newburgh Heights, Ohio Police Chief John Majoy. His suburb is just outside of Cleveland. It's great to have both of you here. Chief, I'd like to start with you. These numbers are alarming. 34 kids disappearing just in May. What do you think is going on?
Well, I think the key thing here is maybe not so much disappearing, but they could be runaway. There's no evidence to show any abductions or any other criminal enterprise that may be involved in this. But it's still an alarming number all the same, being that there's this many children reported missing at this time of year. School's getting out, the weather's getting warmer. So it is certainly an uptick, and it's certainly something that we want to make sure we draw concern to and bring the public's awareness to this so we can help bring these kids home safe.
Chief, is there any geographic pattern? Are they missing from certain neighborhoods?
No, I don't think that there's any pattern that's certainly pointing to a certain area or a certain dimension. I think it's just one of those areas where from time to time we'll see an uptick in burglaries, we'll see an uptick in perhaps.
So I'm assuming these are the ones that they have pictures of. Yeah, a lot of African Americans. If this is what I'm looking at, right? Yeah. Yeah, so far what you say, 13 to 17, I mean, from what I'm seeing, that kind of looks like that. Definitely a lot of African Americans I see, and I mean, obviously I don't have them all up here, but wow. That is disturbing. Very disturbing.
Road rage incidents or robberies or something like that. And so,
I mean, kids, sadly, people go missing.
Anytime that crime or incidents like this spike, there's a concern, and we certainly want to bring the public to be aware of this. But really, there's no smoking gun that's pointing in a particular direction. It's going to say, okay, this is what the culprit is, or this is what the cause is, and this is what.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. If I play any more, I'm going to get
or to bring these kids home safe. It's really going to.
Copyright stricken. Usually I need to get the clip before, but that is interesting. I wonder if any have came back and some of these are runaways. I'll have to look into that for sure, though. That is a high number of upticks, though. Hopefully everything's going good in the comments here. Yeah, try not to use profanity. Charles says, second, I'll do a podcast about serial killers. If you want the case you're more likely to listen to, like any specifics catch your ear. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure some are runaways. I mean, that is the statistic, but would be interesting to know out of all these kids if anyone had came back and were just reported a runaway. But that is a scary number, even for Cleveland. Let me get back. I think I might have missed one. Camilla, your work is so important. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much, Camilla. You guys are truly awesome. Before I go, if there's any other cases that you want me to cover, a lot of people mentioned this one during my members live show, and the Sarah Boone case. I may do a video on that one. So before we go, if there's any cases you would like me to look into, let me know before we go. And there was one more thing I was going to say. As always, I just want to say thank you all for the donations. It really helps. Like I said, YouTube has been kind of rough on me. I've been losing subscribers. I don't know if they're kind of clearing out like old accounts or something like that, but there's been a high uptick of just losing subscribers, and it's not just me, it's a lot of YouTubers. I've seen some big YouTubers talk about it. Sometimes you just get unsubscribed, which is just absolutely crazy. But And then always another great way to support, Cash App, Venmo. And then I do have my members and my Patreon, which I just uploaded a video for both of them. I try to at least upload something once a week, if not twice a week, for my Patreons and my members. So I really appreciate you. Yes, Michelle, we did actually go and check that out. We do have some little bit of drone footage from the Missy's Beaver case, which I'll have to talk to Steve, and maybe we'll have a show together or something. But yes, that's a case that we'll definitely do. I don't know when, but it will be in the near future. I do love Maura Murray. That's a fascinating case. That's a case I know a lot about. Definitely feel comfortable talking about that one. So, for those that are rewatching, put something in the comments that you'd like me to see me cover. I may do a poll probably in the community post. That'll be kind of easier, kind of group everything together. So, with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up here, and I will have a new pet outro. I've just about got everybody's pets that have sent some in. If it's last minute and you'd like to send a picture of your pet, if you haven't already, send it to me. Please put the pet's name so I can label their name, and we'll have it ready hopefully on Wednesday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I love you guys so much for the support, and we will see you guys on Wednesday.